Okay, where are we up to with Supercat versus the Chip Thief? Ah yes, we're at the bit where James's sister Mimi has found out that Tiger can talk. And she says, I'm telling Daddy you drove his cab unless you do as I say. Interesting. Let's carry on. She looks Supercat up and down. Who made Tiger's costume? Was it you, James? Yes, he said. Mimi gave him a wicked smile. Then, I only won't tell Daddy if you make me a dress for my dolly. James had no choice. Okay, he groaned, but promise not to tell. Cross my heart, said Mimi, but you have to make matching knickers. Supercat's pilchers would have to wait. Chapter 3, Chip Wars. It was Saturday morning. James and Supercat had stayed awake all night talking about chips, cats and comics. It was breakfast time and they were still at it. James, is Tiger Man's costume better than mine? Asked Supercat. He was so pleased with it, he'd worn it to bed. No, just different, yawned James. Shall we have a quick snooze? We might need to do some crime fighting later. There's something fishy about the price of chips. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my stomach, said Supercat. I bet some rotter is behind it. He leapt out of bed. Where are you going? Asked James. Supercat dropped to the floor and did 50 press-ups. Just like that. Tiger Man didn't get to be a superhero by snoozing, he said. He was always up and ready to protect the universe from evil Count Backwards. Know your enemy, said James. That was his motto. Supercat had read lots of Tiger Man comics last night, but one thing still puzzled him. I can't think why the Secret Service let Count Backwards work for them in the first place, he said. He's as mad as a bag of nuts. I will erase your mobile numbers, Tiger Man. James sat up. He was never too tired to talk about his favourite comic book characters. Count Backwards wasn't always mad, he said. He was brilliant at maths. The Secret Service hired him to solve the hardest sum in the world to crack an enemy code. It's all explained in the first story. I haven't read that one, said Supercat. James fished under the bed and pulled out a box. Inside was the very first Tiger Man comic. It's in mint condition, said James. Have you got clean paws? Supercat held them up for inspection. James brushed off the cat litter. OK, he said, you can read it now. At the beginning, Count Backwards looked quite normal. Supercat hardly recognised him. In the comics he'd seen, his whole face and body were tattooed with numbers and ugly sums. He's still sane in this picture, said James. See? He's smiling. After 20 years, he finally cracked the impossible sum. That's 114 cat years, said Supercat. No wonder he looks happy. James nodded. It didn't last. Before he had a chance to save the answer on his computer, the cleaner pulled out the plug and it was lost forever. All that hard work for nothing, said Supercat. No wonder he went nuts. James flicked the pages over. He threw his computer out of the window and went on the rampage, messing with people's numbers. Supercat scratched his head. What numbers? Door numbers, said James. Phone numbers, lottery numbers. He even stole the numbers off the town clock. No wonder the Secret Service fired him, said Supercat. He shuddered at the picture on the back page. It was Count Backwards escaping from prison. The thought of that maniac on the loose is enough to put me off my food. Almost, said Supercat, heading out the door. Where are you off to, said James. My super feline ears tell me your dad has just opened the fridge, he said. I'll get him to make my breakfast. Tiger Man always had a big breakfast before he went into battle. James waved at him frantically and called him back. What's up, said Supercat. You are, said James. You're walking on two legs. You have to behave like Tiger in front of Dad or you'll blow your disguise. Take your costume off. Supercat pulled a sulky face and stepped out of his pants. I look silly with no clothes on, he said. You've looked sillier, said James. I'll be down as soon as I've got dressed. By the time James came downstairs, Supercat had already eaten his breakfast and was talking to someone on the telephone. Tiger can't come to his appointment today, he said. He's busy. Cancel it. He slammed down the phone. Who were you talking to, said James, panicking. The vet, said Supercat. And I've rung every chip shop in the phone book, but no one's answering. I don't like the sound of it one little bit. Supercat's ears began to swivel. There's a very interesting report on the telly, he whispered, dropping onto all fours. James followed him in the front room to listen. According to farmers, millions of potatoes have been destroyed by a plague of strange grubs. Potatoes are now so rare they cost more than gold. No wonder the price of chips is so high, James murmured. There'll be no mash with my bangers soon, said Dad. No shepherd's pie, no roasties on a Sunday. Oh, it won't end there, said Mum, turning up the volume on the telly. A reporter stood in front of a large map. If the grubs spread worldwide, there will be no potatoes left to make babkas in Russia, gnocchi in Italy, or hash browns in America. And in Israel, there'll be no latkes at Hanukkah. When the chips are down, countries with no potatoes may invade those that have some, which could lead to spud wars. Spud wars, said James. This is serious. Where did the grubs come from? It's where they're going to that bothers me, said Dad. I should drive to Murphy's farm and dig my spuds up now before they're destroyed. You haven't got time, said Mum. You've got an airport run in 10 minutes. I'll dig them up for you, Dad, said James. I'll ride to the plot on my BMX. It might be our last chance to have chips. He winked at Supercat, who ran upstairs, sneaked his costume out of the house and got dressed behind a bush. James was waiting for him in the alley with his bike. I'm all ready for action, said Supercat. Your pants are back to front, said James. I wondered where my tail had gone, said Supercat, swivelling them round. So, given that I'm as fast as a cheetah, do you want to pedal or shall I? It's a no-brainer, said James, standing on the stunt pegs. He put his arms around Supercat's chubby waist and held on tight. Tiger power! Rah, rah, rah! They were off. And we'll see what they get up to next week.